All right, camera, check. Light, check. Lamp that's unplugged and pointless, check. All right, hey everybody, it's Dave with No Chaser, and today's topic is secret. Actually, it's about keeping secrets, and it's about keeping secrets in sobriety and the risk of relapse that poses. Now, this isn't about like all the secrets that you had in active addiction, you know, where you're at, what you're doing, what you spent the money on, where'd you go. I mean, almost just your life in some sense. Your entire life could be a secret. And maybe you were hiding it well, nobody really knew, or maybe it was one of those kind of awkward open secrets where almost everybody knew, but they didn't know what to do with it. Or maybe it was one of those sort of cat and mouse sort of lives that you were living, where people were about to find out and then you had to move it over here, or they found out and then you had to shift it and be like, I swear I'm not going to do it, and then you put it over here. You know, kind of like playing 3-card Monty with your addiction, where you're like, is it under this card? No, it's look over there. And then my meth addiction was behind your ears the whole time. Or, I don't know. But this is not about that. And this is not just about dishonesty in general. This is about secrets, which I believe it is dishonesty, but a very specific type. Because a lot of secrets, whether they're about something big or it's a white lie, they can kind of be one-time deals. You can kind of have lies that are like single-use lies, kind of like the single-use shampoos in hotels or the single-use shooters of liquor at gas stations that you buy at 6 in the morning, if you're cool. No. But, it could be something where you tell this lie, and you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I'll just take this L morally, or maybe I'll go and admit it to them and apologize, what have you. But for the most part, it's done. It has a finale to it. It was just a lie about something in the moment, and it's inconsequential anywhere in the future. Secrets, though, are prolonged, and a lot of times they can be lies by omission. It could be one of those things where you're like, I'm not lying. I haven't said anything that's not true. I just haven't said anything at all. And especially in early recovery, an expectation that whether you've set for yourself or others have set for you is transparency. And I'm not saying you got to be an open book to everybody everywhere all the time, but there are certain expectations that may be upon you as far as like things that you're expected to tell your therapist, or if you're in AA, your sponsor, or things that you should be telling your spouse, your family, friend. Like if you know something about someone that they should know and it feels like a duty that you should tell them, but you just don't want to, and then you just kind of have it in your head. Because that's the thing, is that, in Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous or just a lot of recovery circles, there's sayings about secrets like, secrets keep you sick. You're only as sick as your secrets. And when I say sick, I don't mean like sick, dude. I mean more like, shit, dude, I'm drunk and I ruined my life again. Because that's what it kind of suggests, is that it will lead back to a relapse. And I that's something I totally agree with. Because here's the thing. It's going to sound a little weird, but just run with me on this one. What I think happens, at least to me, is that when I tell a secret, it does a thing that I call it opens up secret world. All right? And secret world is this other reality, right? It's not imaginary. It's about something very real, but it's this other reality that you're keeping to yourself. It's something that is happening, that is going on, that you're keeping from others. Because you may have some secrets that you confide in someone else, you tell someone else, but you're telling them basically because you know they're not going to tell anybody else, because I don't know, they're not going to rat you out, or they're just a dirtbag, or they're just not connected in any way. So you're like, you are morally flexible, so I'm going to tell you. But a lot of secrets, and especially the most dangerous ones, are the ones you don't tell anybody. Because maybe you have really good quality people in your life, and if you were to tell them, they'd be like, hey, you probably should stop doing that, or you probably should tell the person. And secrets, by the way, this stuff I'm talking about, I'm not just talking about secrets about drugs and alcohol. I'm not talking about hiding your relapse. Again, that's like the active addiction type of stuff. I'm talking about just life things. And you may be new in recovery and you're like, I'm turning a new leaf and things are going pretty well. Or you may have prolonged recovery and you're like, I'm a totally different person and I practice honesty all the time. But a lot of times in life, you will be presented situations where it'll be very tempting to not just lie, but to have a secret. And they come in a lot of different forms. One is maybe, and again, not just secrets about feelings and stuff, but very real things like maybe you're in a relationship and you have like a little bit of money, a little rainy day fund that's squirreled away and the significant other doesn't quite know. Maybe you have a secret credit card. I've had one of those. Or maybe you have a relationship with a coworker of the opposite sex or the sex that you are attracted to, and you talk more than is maybe your significant other is comfortable with. And there's nothing. Okay, and this is not about relationship stuff. This is about secrets. But what you may be doing is texting in secret or leaving the room to make calls. Just you have this thing that's kind of honestly, the way it normally starts is you're not doing anything wrong. You just don't want people to know, right? You could have stuff going on inside you, maybe a little bit more alcohol and drug related. You haven't done anything yet, but you've been thinking about it a lot. You have a lot of cravings and triggers, but you don't want people to think you're freaking out or you're losing it. So you just keep it in here, and you start to not even tell people in recovery with you, or like I said, even your counselor or therapist, you don't tell anybody, and you just you keep it here, just in this little, it's this place I call the secret world. So just run with me on this one. When you have a secret, in this way, it opens up this separate reality. I know that sounds kind of weird and sci-fi, but again, just listen, all right? This secret world, it's not imaginary. It's something very real. Like I said, it's about something that you are truly feeling, or information that you know, or the relationship that you have, or like I said, a tangible thing like the money thing, secret credit card, any of that stuff. It's something very real, but it's kept to yourself and it's kept away from everyone else. So it's just you in the secret world that you just live in. And the problem with having a secret world, at least for me, it was always the sort of the impulse to be like, what else could I keep in there? Or if you have it, it's already there. There's already something there's already, again, this alternate sort of, or not alternate, but this other reality that you've kept from others. Maybe you come into moments where something like you were out of town on a work trip or something, and you're in the hotel bar, and maybe I'll do a little drinking in secret world, because no one's going to know about this. No one has to know, and I'm not going to lie. I'm just not going to tell them anything. Or maybe, I know another scenario is you're talking with your doctor, and maybe you truly have a case of ADHD, and they're prescribing you certain meds, and maybe you've had an addiction to speed, uppers, meth, what have you, and you don't quite tell the doctor everything. Or a very good case for me, going into knee surgery, and just, the doctor, the anesthesiologist, none of them ever asked. But leading up to it entirely, I've kept this thing away from them that I used to be addicted to opiates, which I didn't do. I was totally transparent. But it's stuff like that where it's this secret world, this place that just only you have access to, only you have the combination to. No one else can get in. And when you do that, it, like I said, it creates a real sort of instinct to put more stuff in it, basically. Like, what else can we throw in here? It's nice and roomy in secret world now. We're gonna add a new level to it or something. And again, it could be just stuff like, this a lot of times relationship money, where it's like, I know I'm not spending this money on a mistress or whatever. I don't want to remodel the kitchen. And if they know I have all this money secretly, they're gonna make me do it. Or it could be stuff where you have a shared account and you start thinking in the relationship, this is ridiculous. We should have our own financial accounts. But you don't tell them that, you just make one. And there you go. You have a secret account, like actually a thing with its own account number of secretness. And it's a lot of stuff like that. And like I said, it's the way it starts. If you've been in recovery just even for a little bit or for a while, it's not about the drugs or the alcohol. And if you've already established it in those sort of a moment that could come up, when you're at some wedding, out of town, or you have the weekend to yourself, and or the day off, and you're not tethered to anyone or anything. You got no plans, and you're just in this place where almost a secretive place, not on purpose, but a place where no one would know what you were going to do, and you think to yourself, all right, we'll do it, and we'll just keep it. We'll make a little deposit in the secret world account, and no one has to know. You'll know, but that's fine, because I've already kept this stuff in here. I'd known that, and I've been doing fine since then, so it's all good, right? Yeah, I've fallen that for, because like I said, lying is not good in recovery. It's not great just in general, but secrets are particularly dangerous, especially for me. Especially, yeah, if it's a real tangible thing that you are keeping away from somebody, whether it's finances, a relationship you have. Again, not one that's just infidelity. Maybe some old friends that you swore you cut out of your life, but you've been talking to. Just see what's up. I don't want to go do anything with them yet. But just talking with them. Can I just talk with my old buddies? Jeez. And instead of getting into that whole fight, you just kind of do it. And all of a sudden, you just have a burner phone or a secret cellar of stuff. I don't know. But you know what I mean. It's this idea of keeping yourself. And the last thing I'll say about it is, the reason it's so dangerous for me is because even though it's not the consumption of drugs and alcohol, it is still doing behaviors I did in my addiction. Having those secrets, protecting them, keeping it away from people. All this other stuff, this little sneaky stuff I'm doing. Again, not even related to drugs or alcohol, but it's I start to have a muscle memory of the old ways, the way I used to be. And, almost as dangerous as doing the drugs and alcohol themselves is engaging in behaviors I did when I was in addiction. So, I don't know. Hopefully that gives you some insight on it or whatnot. In the stuff below in the description, I have a link to my podcast that I co-host. It's sometimes about addiction and mental health. Sometimes it's about aliens and philosophy and whatnot. I have my book there as well, the Amazon link, or a way you can get it for free. And then I also have the confidential email, where if you have a topic idea or you have a question of some sort, or you just want to say hey or chat or whatnot, confidential email in there. Other than that, be well.